All right, we're going to take a look at how to use the spreadsheets in Google Drive to create your data tables for the chemistry labs. So I'm going to select Google Drive in the lower right-hand corner here. It'll bring up your Google Drive, so depending on where you were last, you may not see your drive. But you might as well go ahead and select your chemistry folder and then either create, or if you have a folder already set aside for labs, you can tap on that. Odds are you won't have anything in there yet, so we're going to go ahead and tap the plus in the upper right hand corner, and we're going to create a new spreadsheet. We'll go ahead and title the new spreadsheet Physical and Chemical Changes Lab, and create that. And it's going to bring up a typical spreadsheet format. If we take a look back at our lab sheet, we see that we're going to prepare a table of 4 columns and at least 9 rows. And the columns will be labeled as description of change, and then before, during, and after. So the 4 columns will be listed like that. So let's go back over here. And notice that the table we have here, if I tap in one of the cells, there's a lot more columns than we need. So let's go ahead and make the columns a little bit larger. So if I tap on A, and then where the dot is, if I put my finger there, I can stretch. Oop, that's not what I want to do. Sorry, if I put my finger on the top of A, I can stretch it over. Same thing with B. Tap on B, use my finger to stretch the B column over. C, make that larger, and make D larger as well. Maybe make C a little bit bigger. There we go. So now we have our 4 columns. At the top of the first one, we want to put description of change. Oops, sorry, my mistake. Notice that the box has the 2 dots there. You want to tap on it twice so that you don't see the dots on the corners. And then the B column was before. C column was after. D column, oops, excuse me. D column is during. And the D column was after. Okay, so we filled in the column headings. Now we're probably going to want to put in some borders there. So if I tap on cells, and one of the things I want to make sure is on is text wrapping. So I want to make sure that is on if it's not already on. Borders, we can go ahead and add in borders to all. Oh, you know what? My apologies. We need to select the columns that we want to put the borders in. So if I click on the A column and then touch where the dot is about halfway down, and then drag that over, I can drag that over to include the A, B, and the C. And if I tap on cells again, I can put a border on all of them. Okay, so that's pretty good there. We can also format the cells, so later on we might have some numbering formatting that we would do. We could also change the fonts that are present there. And the other thing we can do is if we move over to the right, we have the choice of centering things in those cells, and then also centering them horizontally, and then also centering them vertically. So we want our observations and things to show up in the middle of that box. Now, description of change, part of the pre-lab says to go ahead and put in the descriptions of change that we're going to observe. So if I go back over to take a look at the lab sheet, down here under number 2, I see that I'm supposed to break off a small amount of wax from the candle. So let's go back over to our sheet here, and we're going to write down that first change is to break a small piece of wax. Okay, so that was our first change that we're going to observe. Let's go back over to the sheet. The next one I have highlighted here is to heat gently over a burner flame. So let's go back over to here, And we'll click in the second box, and we're going to say heat wax over a Bunsen burner. Okay. And so notice that it's automatically making that the row a little bit larger so that it can fit all of that in there. And we'll do one more. The next observation that was there in the yellow was to light the candle. So this would be the wick of the candle you're lighting. So back over to here, I'm going to write in light candle. Oh. All right. So now you've got the starting of your data and observations table. You can go ahead and read through the rest of the procedure steps and come up with whatever other changes are going to happen within the lab and add them to this table. So that way when you come into lab, you can go ahead and write down what the things looked like before, as you were breaking it, what happened, and what did it look like after you had broken the wax pieces up. So that's how we're going to construct that data table. And then while we're in lab, we'll show you how to then move that over into your notability file for the actual lab itself.